Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabanson, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We'll cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we'll give you guys a first perspective on things and how we see them. So today we got a pretty interesting show here. Let's get into it. So as you guys know, Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James have had beef for the longest time, right? Stephen A. Smith has gone on various shows and said, I don't like him, you don't like me, it's this, and you remember the whole thing that happened with LeBron approaching Stephen A. Smith at the Lakers game where he said, it's like, stop talking about my son. Y'all remember all of that, right? And then Stephen A. Smith went on like a world tour where he was getting at LeBron and all of that, right? But I've always said about Stephen A. Smith's political career, Stephen A. Smith is talking about running for president, but he can't even stand up to LeBron James. He wants to go negotiate with Vladimir Putin, but you can't defeat LeBron. Like, I'm confused, right? That's number one. But it really started when, those comments about Bronny were made. And LeBron essentially just said, nah, bro, like, I'm going to play you every time I see you. But at the heart of it, Stephen A. Smith has always been a fan of LeBron James. Always, going all the way back to like first take days, like early. He's always been a fan of his. And I think what has happened is that here's a guy that was a fan of a guy that played him, and he got mad at him. All right, he got mad at him, but I think this dude has always been a fan of LeBron. I think he's still a fan right now. So the rumors are out there that Stephen A. Smith is running around trying to get back with LeBron James and make peace with him, and LeBron is just essentially ignoring him. But a lot of us have been wondering, like, yo, why is Stephen A. Smith all of a sudden calling LeBron James a GOAT? I mean, if he wins his first round series, he's a GOAT. I'm like, what's going on here? A lot of us were kind of confused, right? Take a listen to Stephen A. Smith, I think yesterday, talking about LeBron James being a GOAT based on how he plays in round one versus the Rockets. Take a listen to that.
Their back. Go ahead, Stephen.
Well, I'm going to go the route of Kevin Durant. And the reason I'm going to go the route of Kevin Durant is because whatever I would to say about LeBron James today, I would have said about LeBron James the game before that and many, many games throughout this season. I think that even though Michael Jordan will always be my GOAT, LeBron James has made the greatest case for GOAT status this year because of the exceptional play that he's put forth at age 41 in his 23rd year and repeatedly doing whatever it takes. It's not about a 27 or 28 point per game performance or a 25 point per game average over a stretch. It's about a guy that's going to be on the Mount Rushmore of basketball for NBA annals, willing to defer himself and being a third option when necessary, a second option when necessary, a number one option when necessary, a center when necessary, a power forward when necessary, a point forward or a point guard. Whatever it is that you need LeBron James to do, he has done this year. So for me, saying he's the big storyline tonight is just par for the course. It is what it is. I'm going to point to Kevin Durant, who I think a legitimate argument could be made. Top 10 player of all time.
So a lot of us were hearing that. We were like, yo, what is he talking about? Like, I'm confused, right? Then Mitch sent me over an article that I want to share with you guys. A post from Twitter. It says this. Stephen A. Smith allegedly reached out to apologize to LeBron James directly multiple times. Smith was reportedly ignored and left unread. The situation between Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James has quietly turned into one of the more awkward storylines in sports media, with reports suggesting that Smith made multiple attempts to personally reach out and clear the air. According to those close to the situation, the ESPN personality felt that some of his recent commentary may have been taken more personal than intended, prompting him to try and smooth things out over directly rather than letting it play out in public. What makes it more interesting is the reported lack of response, with sources claiming LeBron never engaged, leaving Smith in an unusual position given how vocal and confident he typically is on air. Behind the scenes, this dynamic highlights a growing tension between athletes and media figures, especially in an era where players are more aware of narratives and more selective about who they engage with. For Smith, who has built his brand on strong opinions and direct takes, being ignored may carry more weight than any public disagreement. Meanwhile, LeBron's silence, whether intentional or simply a matter of priorities, sends its own message without saying a word. It turns what could have been a quick private resolution into something that lingers, fueling speculation about respect, boundaries, and how much influence media voices should really have when it comes to players at the highest level. After all of that shouting and twerking and screaming and hollering, he ran back to kiss his ass. He ran back to kiss his ass, which we all knew was going to happen anyway. This dude is a fan of LeBron James. And what you're seeing here is a fan that got his feelings hurt. I truly believe that. Stephen A. Smith is a LeBron James fan. For God's sake, he says he has him as the second greatest player of all time. Now, some of y'all will say, oh, no, he's being objective. Stephen A. Smith ain't got one objective bone in his body. Do you know how I know that? You know Stephen A. Smith is always trashing Kawhi Leonard, who's always unavailable and all. You notice how Stephen A. Smith always seems to have an excuse for Joel Embiid? Or always seems to have an excuse for James Harden? But doesn't give that same grace to Kawhi Leonard? What about the personal vendetta he had against Kyrie Irving? He made that personal, didn't he? So he's not always fair. He's a human being. I think he got his feelings hurt. And that's the reason why he thought he could stay away from his favorite player or one of his favorite players, and now he's right back to begging to want to be his friend. He goes too far on TV. You ain't got to be saying, oh, he's a LeBron type. Bro, you're kissing his balls, bro. It's enough. You can give him his props without going that far. And the reason he's doing that is because he's a fan. And he got his feelings hurt by LeBron James. Can you imagine being a LeBron fan for over 10, 15 years and then he embarrasses you on public TV like that? And what I think happened was that Stephen A. Smith was feeling himself. He was feeling that he was on LeBron James's level when he's not. Let's keep it a beam, bro. I'm not on Stephen A. Smith's level, and Stephen A. Smith for damn sure ain't on LeBron's level. But Stephen A. Smith has main character syndrome. He thinks he's the main character. The dude thinks he's ESPN. He thinks he's like basketball when he's not. And what happened was LeBron gave him a reality check. He was shook, daddy. Shook Smith. Shook. Do you know how I know? Because the next day on TV, when we thought he was going to turn up and look at the camera, look at the camera, look at the camera, put the camera on me. What was that? He looked shook. LeBron had him shook. Shaken. And I think that's what's happening. And LeBron is letting him like, yo, bro, you a peon to me. You a peon. I don't want to talk to you. Do you know how embarrassing it got to be to try to reach out to a dude that don't want to talk to you, bro? LeBron ain't got nothing to do with this dude. He don't got nothing for you. He just ignoring you. He don't care. He already said his 2P. LeBron already said his piece. He's done with you. He's done with you. And now you're going to have to hold that L into the future in perpetuity. Hold that L and have a nice day.